Imagine walking into a grocery store and finding a kangaroo in the produce aisle. Yes, you heard it right. A kangaroo, not your everyday grocery store visitor. Picture this. Our man, let's call him Joe, strolls in for his usual Saturday morning grocery run. He's just minding his own business, picking out the ripest tomatoes when he spots something unusual out of the corner of his eye. A kangaroo bouncing around, wreaking havoc among the apples and oranges. Joe, being the brave soul he is, decides he's going to capture this misplaced marsupial. He makes a lunge for it, but alas, his plan is foiled by an unsuspecting banana peel on the floor. Whoosh! Down goes Joe, sliding across the floor like an Olympic figure skater, but with less grace and more confusion. The kangaroo, well, it just keeps on hopping, probably wondering where the eucalyptus leaves are. And that's how a trip to the grocery store turned into a wild kangaroo chase. Have you ever been to a yoga class and ended up in a pretzel instead of a pose? Picture this, our brave yoga newbie, we'll call him Dave, decides to take the plunge into the world of Om. He saunters into his first class, wearing a borrowed pair of neon leggings and a misplaced sense of confidence. As the class progresses, Dave decides to tackle a pose that's more pretzel than person. The instructor, a serene woman named Serenity, warns him, but Dave, undeterred, presses on. Suddenly, he finds himself in a knot so complex, even a Boy Scout would be stumped. The room fills with gasps and stifled laughter as Dave realizes his predicament. He's stuck. Calls are made, and who should arrive but the local fire department? The firefighters, trying to maintain their composure, eventually free Dave from his self-made twine of limbs. It's safe to say their first yoga class was a stretch too far. Ever tried to impress someone with your cooking skills and ended up with a kitchen fire instead? Picture this. A hopeless romantic trying to whip up a gourmet meal to woo their love interest. The lights are dimmed, soft jazz playing, a bottle of expensive wine chilling. They're dressed to impress, donning the chef's hat and apron, attempting to create the perfect beef Wellington. Now imagine the horror when the oven starts to smoke. Our poor chef, flustered and panicking, accidentally knocks over a bowl of flour, causing what could only be described as a mini flour explosion. Next thing you know, the smoke alarm is blaring, a small fire has started, and our love-struck chef is frantically dialing the fire department. The fire truck arrives, the fire is extinguished, and the love interest, amused yet concerned, suggests they just order takeout. So there they are, sitting on the fire truck, eating Chinese takeout. Well, they did say they wanted a hot date. Scene script. An elevator ride can be quite boring, unless you're stuck in one with a mime. Imagine this. You're rushing to a meeting on the 10th floor and decide to take the elevator. As the doors slide open, you find yourself sharing a confined space with a mime? Yes, a mime, complete with white face paint and striped shirt. And as luck would have it, he's in character. As the elevator ascends, the mime starts to perform. He's pulling invisible ropes, battling imaginary winds, and trapped in an invisible box. It's like a silent comedy show in a 5-by-5-foot space. Our unsuspecting passenger, initially taken aback, starts to play along, opening the invisible box, catching the invisible ball. What starts as an awkward ride turns into an impromptu comedy skit. The mime, the passenger, and a confined space. Who knew this could be a recipe for laughter? Next time, they'll definitely be taking the stairs. Let's revisit the laughter roller coaster we just rode. Ah, the grocery store trip. Remember when that cucumber got, shall we say, misplaced? And let's not forget the moment that 10-pound bag of flour made a grand powdery exit. I'm sure the cleanup crew is still finding flour in the most unexpected places. Then there was the yoga class mishap. I bet our friend won't forget the downward dog pose anytime soon, or the sound of their own voice echoing in the yoga studio as they tumbled over. The cooking disaster was another gem. Who knew that pasta could fly, or that a fire extinguisher could become a main ingredient? And of course, the awkward elevator ride. The silence was deafening, but the faces, priceless. Each scene, a belly laugh, Each moment, a memory. Each laugh, a stitch in the fabric of our shared human comedy. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, but if you're laughing for no reason, you might need medicine.